Alright. So you're recording this.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Start out. We're gonna be reviewing my 2019 Can-Am 20th anniversary Ranger 1000. That's what I'm gonna be reviewing. And I'm gonna take you through the whole vehicle and what I think about it. It's a no BS review. Me and my wife, we bought this Ranger during last Christmas. We got it delivered we picked it up second week of January because the Christmas holidays and all that. We were looking around, we were shopping for an ATV. I'm a Polaris fanboy, I love my Polaris, so we were looking at the Sportsman 1000. So we're looking at that, the touring model with 2 seats. And we had our son born, so he was 1 year old already. So we're looking at the ATV, and then we're just like thinking to ourselves in a dealership, okay, I have me, my wife, and then where are we gonna put our kid? So we started looking at the Ranger. I like the Ranger because it's more of a tractor, like a little mini, how I see it, it's like a little mini F-150 with a bed, of a dump bed. You can put 3 people inside, and it's a 1000, so you have the power to drive around and go over mostly anything you want. In the front of the unit, let's start off. I put on my light bars that I had on my F-150. The bottom one's a KC 24-inch, I would believe. It didn't line up to the mounts on the bumper, so I just used some self-tappers and then screwed it straight down. And after ramming trees and off-roading for almost a year, it still holds. The light bars are oxidizing and falling apart, but it's okay, it still works. The top mount is a different story. That's a 54-inch curved light bar on that. I was looking on Amazon, Google, eBay, everywhere for mounts to mount a 54-inch light bar on this thing. I settled on these mounts. They're $100 from a company that I have no clue. I'm gonna put in this description on all the stuff that I bought. And this company advertised this light bar, the mounts to fit the 54 on the Ranger, 2019 Ranger 2nd Gen. When I got it in the mail, I put it to the door frame. On the door frame, the mounting, put it here. Then I measured from this point where my light bar is gonna be and stuff. And it stuck out another 2 inches. So I had to take this whole thing apart and grind it, make it my own into this position, drilled the plate, and now the light bar sits straight flat against the roof line of the plastic. So it works perfectly fine. So I wanted to make it as low profile as possible, the mount and the light, because the number one drawback for the Ranger is its size. It's pretty big, pretty high, and those pesky ass trees come out of nowhere and ruin the vehicle, that's for sure. So even evidence right now, we just got to this location, filming location. I had an encounter of a tree, so it gave me a little love tap right here. That's it, just keep going with it. About the Ranger of the 2nd Gen is that front bumper. This thing goes through anything. I got scratches everywhere. I got a nice lovely dent right here, more scratches. And this unit has been through hell and back. And the bumper rams anything, run over trees, whatever, and it keeps going. I mounted from the dealer, I got it from the dealer, 6,000 pound winch, 2-speed, the new generation from Polaris. Kind of thing. That's awesome. This is my second one already. First one died, kind of thing. So I learned a new lesson on that one, that you don't use second speed when you're bogged down in a mud hole. and stuff. They don't like it, so you're gonna kill it. So I killed my first one. Got a new one from warranty and stuff. Now I use first gear only when I'm stuck in heavy mud and stuff, and second gear is only for rope recovery. That's what I use it for. Windshield, if you're buying a Ranger or like any side-by-side, you need a glass windshield and the glass windshield for the rear. You need those. Don't buy the poly ones, the plastic ones, because they're gonna start scratching and they're gonna go to crap very quickly. The front windshield is has some nice little cracks on it, but it's okay. We had some encounters with trees and then flipping the unit, and this is the end result of the glass. I have a new windshield, but I'm gonna continue using this windshield as driving around, like doing our videos and stuff, until I get a tree branch going right through the windshield. But besides that, I'm gonna keep it. We're gonna continue using it because I could look past the broken windshield, like, you know, who cares? Another must, if you have a windshield, the glass windshield, is the wiper assembly for the windshield. That thing helps so much. It has a sprinkler, you know, the same as like a real car. On off, and the sprinkler to wash the glass, and when it's raining, you keep driving, you get mud all over your windshield, just press the button, it removes the mud. Under the hood here, I have a cluster F of wiring from all my underneath the hood. You have your coolant reserve, a whole mess of wiring with relays sitting everywhere. I try to put them as high as possible using wood screws. That's always recommended. For the windshield, you have your washer fluid and stuff. That compartment goes here, and then your Polaris bus bar, so you could put all your attachments. These are really handy. You got one here and one inside the cab, so you can put as many accessories that you want. I got my GoPro mount on the front bumper here, and in the rear window has another GoPro mount. Continuing with the front end, inside light bulbs is all LEDs. I'm gonna put the link in the description for that's, I think, eBay or Amazon, one of them, whatever. So I'm gonna put the link for the light bulbs in there. I converted this vehicle, I made this vehicle to be street legal. So I could drive it on the streets and not get hassled by the cops or anything, that, you know, there's no turn signals or there's no horn or blah, blah, blah. So on that note, I went on the internet again, found a turn signal kit plug and play for the Polaris, 2019 Polaris. So I got this thing. So every time left turn signal, right turn signal, it works from front and rear. The unit itself came with like ugly round oval LED circle thingy jiggies like that. You should mount them on here, on the sides here. Some guys on YouTube, they put it like up here, and when you turn on your signals, it's gonna light up here. I was looking around on the eBay. I was just thinking to myself, what about all the Mercedes and Audis on the streets right now, the new generation? They have the built-in LED strips inside the housing of the lights, and it goes end to end of the housing. So I was looking around for that, and I found these for 20 bucks. You get 2 of these, and they're LED strips inside. So when you turn on the turn signal, it's gonna flash, right? Yellow and stuff, nice and bright. It works very well. But when you turn on your unit, they work as a daytime running light. So that's the cool part about that. Then you put the LED headlights on and it gives you a lot of light. Looks cool. Number one thing that I liked about this unit when I seen this on the website of Polaris is that it reminded me of like the color scheme outside the color panels and the leather seats with the 20th anniversary in them. I liked it, and it reminded me of a F-150 King Ranch model. That's why I liked it so much, like the wood grain and all that stuff. So I thought that was cool. That's why we bought it. We bought this item instead of like some red one or a yellow one or a blue one kind of thing. Like, yeah, not my style. Inside the unit, I got myself a mirror to see what's behind me. And then I got myself, for the leather seats, I put these seat warmers from Costco for 20 bucks. So I put one for myself and one for my wife and stuff. During winter time, we could turn them on and it warms up our backs and our butts. So it works very well. I do not have AC or heat from the dealer. That's a $1,500 option. So I was like, bro, I'm not gonna buy that. So I made my own. From my F-150, I had a bed heater. I had all my tools in there. So I mounted my bed heater down there. It's a 12 volts, runs off 12 volts, 40 amps it takes from the battery. And I put it on a toggle switch right here that lights up, that starts glowing red when it's on. So it tells me, it warns me. It's direct power to the battery. So you don't have to have the engine on to power it, but you better have the engine on because you will kill your battery so quick, because it pulls 40 amps out of the unit. Another mod I did inside, so come here. So inside I made you have this tray in here. So I got like a ATV cargo holder and all the wires for the heat warmers and stuff. See, lovely, huh? It's a disaster inside. In this location, you have the stock battery. You have your all the fuse panel, the boxes, all that stuff. On the side right here, these two sides right here, that's your intake for your air filter and the intake for your clutches. So in this location, I seen one guy did a mod on his like 2017 Polaris Ranger that he put an Optima battery in here, car battery, full size. So I was like, all right, cool. Like I could do the same. I was looking around how to do it. I couldn't find nothing. In this location, so you take one bolt out of here, this holder that holds down the battery, the stock battery. Pull out the battery. On the bottom, there's a metal tab that holds the battery in place from sliding back and forth. It's on this side right here, kind of thing. Take a grinder, scribe the whole metal piece, and then take a hammer and bend it down. And that will give you enough space to put a full-size yellow top or red top battery inside of here. What you're seeing right now on camera, I don't have it because I put it in my boat because I'm running to dual yellow tops in there and stuff. So I put the stock battery in, and I just, you know, in my head, I just make sure don't turn on all the lights at once or the heater. You know, it's going to drain the battery very quickly. Okay. Back side of my glass rear panel here, I always carry like shears for branches, these red ones to cut branches, a machete, and an axe. Just in case when I'm going through the trails, I encounter trees on the ground or something like that, or the trail starts getting too small for me because the Ranger is so big, and the ATV will fit into the trail, but I can't because I'm too high or I'm too wide. So I have all these tools with me at all times just to make, you know, the path bigger, whatever, you know, chop away as something. On top of the roof, we got the plastic roof from the dealer too. You could have insulation here, you could have stereo system built into it, dome light here. You could, you know, you could have anything you want in any type of dealer from Polaris to Can-Am. But you better bring a paycheck, a blank check, and your firstborn, because they will charge you up the ass for that. So instead of buying a stereo system from them, like a built-in stereo, you could have a GPS unit right here, where the cup holders are. This pops out, and then they put a GPS unit, touch screen, and all that. You know, it looks very cool, but I don't have that type of money, $1,500 for that, just so I could have GPS and a stereo system. So I went back on Amazon or Google or whatever the hell. I went back on Amazon and I found myself this Bluetooth speaker. A little Bluetooth speaker, I think it's like $60 for this thing. It's waterproof and everything connects to your phone. And I just zip tied it in this location. And listen, that thing is loud. You could hear with a helmet on and going full power. You could hear music very clearly, so that's cool, and it's a cheap little hack. On the top here, I PL'd and siliconed a cigarette lighter, extra 3-port cigarette lighter that you find, you know, Canadian Tire, you know, Ukrainian Tire or Home Depot or whatever. One port that I'm using on this thing is for my hazard lights that's on the roof, that I mounted on the roof, and the other port is charging my Wi-Fi speaker at all times, so this thing doesn't have to die on me. It does last for 30 hours, you know, battery power alone, but I always charge it when I'm driving or going out somewhere with it. On the windshield, I had a old Garmin GPS. So I just mounted it here, and it tells me where I am at all times. You know, if I get lost in the forest or something, I always could find, you know, oh, there's a road right there, so I'll just hop on that road and make my way back home or back to the truck. From the dealer, there's your wireless controller for the winch in the front. So power button in and out, very simple. On the dash, you have time, your 4-wheel drive option. So we're on one wheel drive right now, one rear wheel. Engine, I like to put engine temp and as the first one, so I know the engine temperature at all times. And kilometers an hour, because we live in Canada, so it's all kilometers, not miles an hour. On mode, if you click mode, you got RPM, temperature again, engine temperature, kilometers. I like to leave it in kilometers. Volts, 14.3. Trip, we have 1,310 kilometers total so far since ownership. So if you hold the button of the mode, you have options. So you got kilometers or miles an hour, service hours, color. You could change the background color, red, blue, rainbow, whatever. Clock, unit Fahrenheit or Celsius. kilometers again and exit. Total hours on the engine is 126.6 hours/minutes. Service 50. Time. Engine temperature. Okay. Continuing with the dash. So I got the turn signal kit. Has the indicator little lights here. So I drilled the dash panel and I put them in there in this location. So if you're going right, you have right, left, you got left. The LEDs continue to glow always when the key's in. So it's a key switch power. The unit itself, the turn signal kit, it came with this assembly right here. But this assembly had a mount that goes around the steering shaft here, and it pushed out this arm, like the whole unit, extra like 2 inches. So I have doors on my unit and it's like rubbing against the door, and then if you're driving, you accidentally hit it, and then you're like driving around with a switch on. I took off the mount and I was like, okay, I thought to myself, I was like, okay, this is metal. I'm just gonna take my MIG welder and weld it straight to the shaft right here. So I put it here, I held it in one hand, the other one with the MIG, pressed the trigger, it blew a hole right through the housing. I was like, God damn, man. So I looked at the housing is aluminum. I was like, so I can't weld to aluminum. But inside the housing, there was like metal little container, metal little holders, like cylinders inside of it, that you screwed the screw in from the mount. So I used that. So I just pressed it against the shaft and I welded that, like spot welded that to the shaft, and it held. But it gave a gap all the way around the whole unit. So I was like, okay, I love PL, construction glue, and DAP. I PL'd the whole opening all the way around. So I did that, waited 24 hours. It's solid as a rock now. You could, hit it, whatever, it's not going anywhere. The PL is holding it in place. But now this is all brown in color. Because PL only comes in 2 colors, gray or brown. And I used brown in this situation. So I was like, okay, how about if I take a Sharpie and just color it in. And there we go, there's your end result. You color it in with a Sharpie and it's black, and you never know any difference. Continuing with the front dash, I put my 2 toggle switches for the front. Both light bars in the front are connected together onto one switch. And the rear, I have 4 little LED pods connected together. And for the top of the roof and on the bottom bumper, I put them. So that's where I put those switches. Right here you have 1-wheel drive for the back, so you don't tear up the grass on your lawn. Lock the diff in the rear, and then the full-time 4-wheel drive all the way to the top. Then you got your power settings. So max power, standard, and work mode. I always leave it in max power, or I use work mode when I'm loading and unloading from my 6x10 dump trailer when I go out to the trails. So I use that only. On the side here, I put a horn in the front. From off the internet, I got a horn. So I got that to make this thing legal. And then I put a USB charger. the dual port, glows blue, matches everything else, the display of blue. So I put that in there. It works. The cubby holder here is full of chains, recovery gear, extra belts, hand warmers, stuff like that, feet warmers, kind of thing. You never know where you're gonna get stuck. In the glove box here, both units are waterproof and stuff, so they do work. I have had water up to here, up to this point almost, off-roading and stuff. You can see, like, I try to power wash it clean. That's how I clean it. I just, the whole unit, open the doors, park it where you want to wash it, and just go at it with the power washer. Inside, outside, everywhere. On the seats, I just use a power washer everywhere. On the ceiling and stuff. I have no problems, not rusting. It just continues to work. The unit is just Polaris, hard to kill. Inside the glove box, got plugs for the tires from Princess Auto or Harbor Freight, as you guys in America have. More straps, more hooks for towing. I got goggles in the back way down there. It goes pretty deep in there. I got a knife in there just in case. So I have that. And then on top here, more plugs. I got ownership, I got heat warmers, I got pliers for fishing, for ice fishing, a couple extra bags, plastic bags. So that's what I got there. All right, the front where I mounted the horns. Both of the horns, again, I got from Amazon, off Amazon, and they're both red. And I put them on the sides there so I don't block the radiator from overheating. So I put it on the side, and from far away, if you look at it, like if you look at it in person, just think of yourself, like think to yourself, it's a Subaru STI, because they always have those their horns on the sides like that, and they're red, and I thought that was cool, so I did it like that. On the roof, I have my hazard lights, the yellow hazard lights, and again I put it on the trigger of the key only. So you have to turn on the key. I did it like that for like wintertime plowing, because I have a plow attachment for this unit. Plowing my driveway or something. You know, old people don't see anything, so I put that on so they don't run me over or try to hit me. Mounted it down. I put a couple wood screws on there. 2 wood screws and PL and silicone just to hold in place. Got hit by tree branches. We flipped this thing and it's still holding, so it's good. It does leak though. It does have water inside. So, but it doesn't affect the performance of it at all. On the sides, come that way. Oh, on this side. Passenger side, I put a fire extinguisher that I had lying around the garage, so I just mounted it there. I put some gravel bar and a couple wood screws, and I just drilled right into the plastics, and it's been there. It's been underwater and stuff. You can see like my constant watermark kind of thing, like the level of the water I keep going into and stuff. Like I use this unit. Like if the unit, when I buy something, if it says 4x4, oh, it better be 4x4, because I'm gonna be going in 4x4 with this thing. So that finishes up. So that finishes the interior of the unit. Exterior, when you buy this unit brand new, you get mesh doors on it. They work awesome for summertime, kind of thing, driving around, you know, open air, it's like free AC you have. But for my situation, I paid extra. It was like $1,200 or $1,000 for the doors. Not the automotive style, these are just the canvas doors. So I got these. Listen, they're very light. I love them, especially if you're going in dusty trails or something like that. It keeps the dust out because it's enclosed. If you're going through water, at this mark, it does keep the water out temporary for a couple, like 1 or 2 minutes before it starts flooding into the unit. So you do float. Actually, if you're in a mud hole, the whole unit will float for a couple, like a minute or two, until it drops like a rock. So I love these things. Lock, they do come with a lock, and they do work very well. So if you guys are on the fence of trying to buy these doors, I do recommend to buy the doors. Unless you have money, $5 grand, then you could buy the automotive style power window doors, and that are insulated for winter use. Coming to the rear of the unit of the Polaris, it is a dump box. So if you lift it on this thing, lift up, it gives you access to the 1000cc engine, gives you access to the ECU on the side here, and your air box right there. So it's easy access. On the air box, I did a little hack, a little modification to it. Around the seal, it has an O-ring around the opening of the air box. I put some marine grease all the way around it, just in case. Give it a little extra protection from water, because I'm always in water. And on the bottom, it had a little drain all the way inside there. You can't really see it on the camera, but it had a little drain there that if it did ever collect water, you could drain it. I removed that. Again, I went to Princess Auto, got a little grommet kit for like $6. Found the right size, put some silicone around it, and shoved it in place. So that's 100% sealed. Put extra silicone around the grommet itself, and then on the bottom of the box, I put extra silicone as an insurance policy that water can't get in. Because I already had that problem that water was going in from that area, and it was trying to make its way into the motor through the air filter. So that scared me, so I did that, and so far I have no problems with water getting into my intakes. At the back bed, I put a 2x12 piece of wood from work off the subdivision. I put it there, cut it to size, and it holds the grooves inside on the sides of the box. These right here, they fit perfectly the 2x12. And so if it just, you know, slides in, friction fit. I always carry a cooler and stuff when I go out with my family, so we pack a lunch there for ourselves, maybe dry clothes and stuff, so we'll put it in there. Gas, we always carry extra 20 liters of fuel for the unit. The total fuel amount that the unit takes in the tank is like 42 liters. So that's why I just have it just in case I run out. Another thing I bought off Amazon are these little hooks here. Again, friction fit. You pop them into the hole and you tighten them, and it holds tight. So I got 5 of those. So 2 on each side and 1 in the back here. And so if I'm carrying cargo, if I'm working in the backyard or something, so I have an extra hook there, like a mounting point to hold the item down. Coming back to the roof area, I have my LED lights. Again, this is from my F-150 that I had. All these LEDs. These are Rigid Industries. So I got 2 on top and 2 on the bottom. And I just used 3M tape that comes from the GoPro mounts. And I just put my GoPro mount here so we could take videos from the rear of the unit when we're going off-roading. At the back here, I put like a recovery strap here that's always hanging like this when I'm driving on the street, whatever, it's always on, just in case. You never know when you're gonna get stuck. So I did that. The back scratches everywhere, plastic, the stickers on the box is chipping away, you know, from hitting trees, reversing into objects. Even the Polaris sign is all chewed up and stuff, kind of thing. Listen, I try to baby it as much as I can, but this is my like everyday vehicle, like a work vehicle. I use it in my backyard doing chores. I go with my family to the trails. I try to enjoy myself with buying a unit. I'm not gonna be babying it, you know, touching it, kissing it goodnight every day, kind of thing. Yes, I paid a fortune for it, but listen, we live once, kind of thing. Continue on the back. So I wired from the dealer itself. There is a connection for a reverse light. So these are all like pigtailed in. I bought this light from Amazon. It was like 40 bucks or something for this light. So I connected this one as a reverse light LED. You know, for the bang for the buck, it's pretty good. I wired it into the stock location for the unit, and then I pigtailed another 2 LED lights that I put in the bumper. So I got these little ones on both ends, wired up to that one. So it's like a V pattern when I put it in reverse, and it works very well and stuff. I'm going to show you guys right now. So yeah, I like the lights. It works very well and it's very bright. At nighttime you see a lot. And then if you turn on the rear lights, the LEDs for off my F-150, I got them 2 here and 2 on the roof. So once you turn everything on, yeah, you got to be pretty blind not to see what's behind you if you're using all the reverse lights. Continuing with the back, I got my plate here for the unit right here. I just drilled a little hole and I put an LED light here, so like it shows the plate at nighttime when I'm driving on the streets, like a real car. So I put that there, and on the bottom here, you have a 2-inch receiver stock from the dealer. You get. I put a hitch, a 6-inch drop from Princess Auto. Got that. Put 5/8 D-rings on the sides there. If I'm towing something, if I'm putting a trailer or something, these are really good to have instead of the original small ones. Some of the hooks off our trailers don't fit, so I put them here and it works pretty well. Put a lock on it. Another thing from Princess Auto that we got these like recovery hooks from them. They're like a couple bucks, and they have a hole in the middle of them, so you could figure a way of putting this on your truck or your tractor or whatever. So the hole wasn't big enough for my 2-inch ball, so I made the hole bigger. I put it in this place, I tightened the whole assembly together, and then I welded it both sides to the hitch there. So that's one solid piece, and my line is always connected here, and that's an extra tow point to pull me out when I'm in the mud. The back end got shocks. The shocks are stock all the way around on this unit, but I moved them from the original position that they were on the other side, kind of thing. So the unit was lower by 1 inch. It came from the stock from the dealer as that. So the ride is very, very soft, kind of thing. So it's comfortable. That's why Polaris is #1 for ride quality. It's very, very soft. So I love it. But once you load up the rear bed with soil or something, topsoil, or hook up a heavy trailer to the rear end, the whole rear is gonna squat. So I put it up to the outer position of the box. I put it here, and now it's more stiff in the rear. Yes, you lose ride quality, like ride comfort, but it's, you know, just carry more weight into it. It's more practical to me because I use it every day, and I make this thing work. Okay. On the passenger side of the unit is a little messed up. It's a little bit scratched and all that, little beauty marks here and there. The door is kicked in. The frame is kicked in. The plastic's all kicked in. That's our little encounter of drifting. So we'll get into that later on in another video. But besides that, the door is still closed. Everything functions. It still, you know, stops water from getting in when I'm mudding. So it's still okay. Even the plastic here is kicked in by a rock, but it works. It still works, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay. And the last thing, another thing that I'm going to talk about are the stock tires. The stock tires on the unit are Maxim, and they're 27 inches in height. It's up 27 by 11 in the rear, and 27 by 9 in the front. For the money, these are stock tires, and they work amazing. Like, I have nothing bad to say about them. What I did to this unit already, and its short lifespan of, we'll say 6 months, they just keep going and going and going. I have lost one tire so far of ownership of this vehicle. I had a tree branch the size of that stuck between the tire and the rim, and it still held air. It took me 2 kilometers to get home. When I got home, my wife went around the unit, looked at it. She's like, you know, Mikey, there's a tree stuck in your tire. It held air until the next day. Next day it was flat to the ground. I just jacked up the unit. I took off, 4 bolts, took off the rim and tire, went back to the dealership, and they fixed it. No questions asked. They fixed it. They just removed the tree branch out of the tire, re-glued it, put air in it, and it's still good. All the rims are chewed up, scratches everywhere, damage, kicked in from rocks and stuff from mudding. That's what's going to happen if you're going to be using it every day. And that's it. When it comes to the Polaris Ranger 1000, 3-person model, the 3-person version, I have nothing bad to say. This thing is amazing in all ways. I have tortured this thing from day one of ownership, and it just keeps going and going and going. I had little hiccups here and there kind of thing, but I have nothing bad to say about the brand or the unit itself. And that's it, guys. That's all I could say about the 2019 Polaris Ranger 1000. If you guys are looking for one, I tell you right now, you should buy one. It's great, especially if you have a young family and stuff, and if you have work to do around your property. They're great to have.